So in today's video, I want to unpack for you what I've come to call as the drivers of your behavior. My name is Seth Yalorda, and I'm an organizational development consultant, and I work with individuals and organizations to help them experience higher levels of performance. And so today's video, I want to address the behaviors that you and I often exhibit that keep us from operating at our core. And I'm going to go to my iPad today as well to kind of illustrate some things. So I want to encourage you to continue watching this or continue listening this till the end. So all of us have goals that we set for ourselves, whether it is to lose weight or save more money or to finish a project or go back to school, whatever the goal might be. But along the way of us accomplishing the goal, what inevitably happens in almost everyone's life is we experience behaviors that on some level self-sabotage or just undermine our goal. And so we might want to lose weight, but then we find ourselves having a rough day. And on the way home, we stop and we eat some unhealthy food. Or maybe we're trying to save for a big vacation or because we want to buy a house. And yet we go through this experience and we're kind of stressed out and we go to the store and we splurge our money that we were saving on things that we really don't need. All of us experience on some level these sabotaging behaviors that prevent us from truly experiencing our highest level and accomplishing the goals that we set for ourselves. And so what I want to unpack for you today is really helping you to understand what's happening underneath the surface so that you can be in the driver's seat and you can determine and really control when you engage in certain behaviors and how to mitigate unhealthy behaviors that are preventing you from reaching your goal. So I'm going to go to my iPad, and what I want to illustrate for you is this concept that all of us on some level experience, right? So there are these three concentric circles, and you can see this here on my iPad. And essentially at the very outer center of these circles is what we call, this is our behavior. Right? So that's our behavior. Those are the things that we do, that we engage in, the words we say, the choices we make. That's fundamentally our behavior. Our behavior, though, doesn't happen in a vacuum. We don't just do things because we want to do them, but all of our behaviors are driven by what we call thoughts and or feelings. So all of your behaviors, no matter what they are, positive behaviors, negative behaviors, if you decide to go and rob a bank, God forbid, that behavior of robbing a bank is driven by a thought. It's driven by a feeling. If you decide to go and propose to your fiance or to your girlfriend or your boyfriend, that behavior is driven by a thought or a feeling. If you decide to go and climb Mount Everest, that behavior is driven by a thought and a feeling. And so I think I want us to really understand at a very core level that every single thing that we do, whether it be good or bad, whether it's spending time with our kids, whether it is going and spending extra hours at work and trying to work overtime, whether it is picking up a second or a third job, whether it's going back to school, whether it's going to church, waking up and having a devotion and spending time with God in the morning, every single behavior that you engage in is driven by thoughts and feelings. And some can argue, well, what comes first, the thoughts or the feelings? And for the purpose of this video, that's not as important, but it's really important just to understand that underneath all of your behaviors are thoughts and feelings, that behaviors just don't happen. We can't say, well, the devil made me do it. Or like my daughters often tell me, well, my older sister, Millie, she made me do it. Or Emily made me do it. No, right? All of our behaviors are driven by thoughts and feelings that we have. People can't make us do anything. We engage. Now, they can influence us, understandably for sure, but they can't make us because our behaviors, we're in control of them and they're driven by thoughts and feelings. However, underneath the thoughts and feelings of our behaviors is a third layer, a core layer. And this core layer down here is our beliefs. So the thoughts and the feelings that you engage in, they are there because at the very core level, there is a set of beliefs that you are operating based on. So just walk with me through this scenario, for example. So let's say you are experiencing a behavior of chain smoking, or you are a stress smoker. You take your cigarettes out and you're smoking. Well, that behavior is driven by thoughts and feelings. And those thoughts and feelings may be, you know what, I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, I'm feeling like I just need a break, my nerves are kind of out of control, I need to calm my nerves. So you're feeling stressed. And so because you're feeling stressed, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling overwhelmed, you then go and you engage in smoking. Well, that feeling is undergirded or supported by a belief. And that belief might be, this situation is too big for me to handle, or I don't know how I'm going to figure this situation out, or I had a rough day in my job and I feel like I'm about to lose my job. And so because I'm about to lose my job, I'm nervous, I'm anxious. And because I'm nervous, I'm anxious, I'm going to smoke a cigarette, right? Or replace smoking a cigarette for anything. It could be, shopping or overeating or indulging or going to the gym and exercising. Any behavior that you experience is driven by thoughts and feelings. And those thoughts and feelings are then driven by beliefs. And so whenever I'm working with an individual in one-on-one or group coaching, I always try to I always lead them through an exercise where I say, I want you to take time to really evaluate your behaviors and then ask yourself, what were the thoughts and the feelings that initiated or instigated these behaviors? And then what was the belief that supported or that drove those thoughts and those feelings? It was just the other day where I was at the airport with my daughters and we were picking up a car and I had to drive to the credit union. And I had a meeting that was coming up like an hour later. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to the credit union, but I'm going to try really hard to make it to the credit union so then I could get back home before my meeting starts. And while I am engaged in this behavior of driving to the credit union, I start to drive a little bit faster, a little bit erratic. My daughters are in the back seat. And of course, they've been in the car for about an hour now. And they're like, Daddy, I'm hungry. Daddy, I'm tired. Daddy, when are we going home? And so like they're doing their thing. And I'm starting to get frustrated. I finally make it to the credit union only to realize it's Veterans Day that Friday and the credit union is closed. And I am like livid and frustrated because not only did I have to fight through traffic out of the way, 30 minutes out of the way to get to this credit union, but now the reason why I went to the credit union, I won't even be able to accomplish. And now I got to try to rush home to make it back home for a meeting that I have. And I'm like kind of stressed and kind of annoyed and kind of frustrated. And my daughters are like dancing on my last nerve and they're kind of going off in the backseat. Parents, we've all been there. And as I'm going through this, I started to just say to myself, wait, what do I believe about this situation? Why am I frustrated? Well, I believe that I needed to go to the credit union today, even though I knew I was cutting it short to address this situation. Well, is that belief true? Did I actually have to go to the credit union today? Actually, I didn't, right? I could have went on Monday, or I could have went the day before, or I could have just, done it online, electronically. Like I didn't have to go to the credit union that day. But I started to really think about these beliefs that I had that were driving these feelings of, oh, I gotta go. And these thoughts of, if I don't do it today, I'm not gonna be able to do it, which then led me to driving erratically, getting upset with my kids, kind of fussing at them on the way home, feeling overwhelmed and burdened because I missed the credit union and now I'm gonna be late for my meeting. All of these things were rooted in a core belief that at the end of the day may not have even been true. And so a lot of times when you are experiencing different elements of your life, different behaviors of your life that may not be helping you, what an emotionally aware individual will do is that person will say, is this belief true? What's possible? What is another belief that possibly could be even more true than this belief? And that individual takes the time to not just respond out of their thoughts and their feelings, but they take the time to really dig deeper to try to help them better understand what are the beliefs that are driving these thoughts and these feelings. So as you are going throughout your day, today or tomorrow or this week, I would want to encourage you to evaluate the behaviors that you engage in, and specifically the behaviors that are not helping you reach your goal, the behaviors that are sabotaging you from reaching your goal. Evaluate those behaviors and ask yourself, what were the thoughts and the feelings that were driving those behaviors? And then take it another layer deeper and say to yourself, what was the belief? What did I believe about myself? What did I believe about the situation that led me to these thoughts and feelings? And then you have to ask yourself the question, is that belief true? Now, some might say, well, yeah, the belief is true, but it's not the only belief. It's not an absolute belief or an absolute truth. There may be some other beliefs that are also true that you could insert into that core so that it will then impact and influence your thoughts and feelings, which would then drive your behavior. So I would love for you to engage in this exercise this week. Identify behavior, dig a little bit deeper, think about the thoughts and the feelings, write down what your thoughts and feelings were, and then drive a little bit deeper and say, what was the belief that was influencing these thoughts and the feelings? And is that belief true? Once you do this exercise, send me a message on YouTube, send me a message on Instagram or Facebook. Let me know that you did it and tell me what your thought process was as you're going through it. Again, my name is Seth Yalorda, and I just love helping people experience higher levels of performance. And so thank you so much for watching this video. And I would just ask that you would like, that you would subscribe, that you would share. And if you're listening to this on podcast, please do the same. I am trying to grow this channel both on YouTube and on podcasts. And so any way that you can support and share this video would help me do that. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.